Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, cops take out Kings Valley triggerman in early morning firefight. An alleged member of the notorious Kings Valley gang, which operates out of Greenhill, Westmoreland, was one of two men fatally shot during a reported clash with members of a police team in Limehall, St. Anne, early Monday morning. He has been identified as a 36-year-old Ricardo Hemmings, who once went by the monikers Junior and Black Oil. In recent times, Hemmings has been called a Chin Mix for his distinctive bleached complexion, which gave him the appearance of someone of Chinese descent. According to police sources, Hemmings served as a triggerman and enforcer for the Kings Valley gang, which has been the subject of numerous police operations. He was also a person of interest for police in several divisions, in addition to his home base of Westmoreland, as he was a known contract killer and a long-standing and dangerous figure in Jamaica's criminal underworld. Hemmings first became a person of interest for the police in 2016, and in July of that year, an attempt was made to apprehend him in Green Island, Hanover. He reportedly fired at the police and escaped. Months later, Hemmings was identified as the shooter in an incident in which one man was left nursing gunshot wounds in Rock Spring, Hanover. In 2017, Hemmings was moved to the police wanted list as he was linked to the murder of Ricardo Manny Stewart in Greenhill. Since then, Hemmings has been linked to several other crimes, including a July 2020 incident in Greenhill in which 4 people were shot. According to police sources, Hemmings managed to evade capture by radically altering his appearance. About 4 a.m. on Monday, the police launched a pre-dawn operation in Limehall where intelligence suggested that Hemmings was hiding. The police report that law enforcement personnel acting on a warrant in search of Hemmings approached a 2-bedroom house when 2 men attempted to flee from the rear of the premises. One of the men allegedly opened fire at the police, who returned the fire, hitting one of them, while the other escaped. As the police continued their operation, another man reportedly fired at them from inside the house. The cops said they returned the fire and the man was injured. A .45 caliber pistol with a magazine containing 3 rounds was reportedly seized by the cops. Both the injured men were taken to St. Anne's Bay Hospital, where they were pronounced dead. Up to press time on Tuesday, the second man, who was fatally shot, remained unidentified. The Independent Commission of Investigations was notified and is conducting inquiries. Last December, the reputed leader of the Kings Valley gang, Derval Luke Williams, and his sidekick, Kristen Grant, were sentenced to 8 years for plotting to murder a prosecution witness while behind the bars. They have appealed their conviction and the sentence. The 2 remain before the courts on anti-gang charges. Other people arrived at Maitland's apartment before Indicom. An Independent Commission of Investigations crime scene investigator admitted on Tuesday that other people had arrived at the Constable Noel Maitland's apartment before he got there on July 28, 2022 to process the scene when he found brown stains on curtains resembling blood. Maitland is on trial for murder in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston following the disappearance of his 24-year-old social media influencer, entrepreneur girlfriend, Donna Lee Donaldson, who was reported missing on July 12, 2022, and last seen at Maitland's apartment at the Chelsea Manor in St. Andrew. During cross-examination, Chadwick Berry, one of the attorneys representing Maitland, asked the Indicom investigator if he was aware that a team from the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine and the Jamaica Constabulary Force attended the scene before he and his team had arrived. "I am aware of that," the investigator said. Berry asked the witness if, as a crime scene examiner, he would agree that the preservation of a location when it is deemed to be relevant to an investigation is important. "Correct. the witness said. Berry further asked if that meant that the location would have had to be maintained to ensure the integrity of potential evidence and to ensure a proper investigation was done. The investigator said that he agreed. In keeping with maintaining the integrity of potential evidence, it is also important to ensure that the location is not contaminated. Do you agree with me? Berry asked. That's always ideal, the Income investigator replied. Berry then asked the witness if he would agree that a contamination could be defined as the introduction of foreign material to the scene. The investigator said that would be based on what the contaminating factor was. What are some contaminants in your mind that should be considered? Berry probed. Biological to include blood, other bodily fluids, saliva, semen, chemical, disinfectants, bleach, the witness responded. You would also agree with me that interacts with a particular location that is deemed to be a location of interest to an investigation is important, Berry asked. That is true, the witness said, adding that it would include people who would have gone to the location. During examination in chief led by the prosecution on Monday, the crime scene investigator explained for the 7-member jury how he packaged and stored evidence related to the case, including curtains found at Maitland's apartment, which had what he said were several stains resembling blood. From Maitland's apartment, he also secured a cream-colored pillow cushion. The investigator also spoke of how he secured a toothbrush which belonged to Donaldson that was taken from her mother's house in St. Andrew. The toothbrush and the other items were swabbed for DNA evidence. I collected the package, the brown curtain, and placed it in a storage, which is our exhibit room or vault at Income headquarters in Kingston. At that time, I alone had access to that room. I collected it from the exhibit room and carried it with me here to court. It was intact. It was unopened. When I delivered the cream-colored pillow cushion to the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine, it was in the same condition. On the 11th of July 2024, I took it from the lab and carried it back to Income headquarters and stored it in our exhibit room or vault. I last saw it this morning. The package is intact and unopened, he said on Monday. The trial continues today. Jamaican man among dangerous illegal aliens detained by U.S. at Guantanamo Bay. A Jamaican man is among more than 24 people described by the United States Department of Homeland Security as a violent, high-threat, illegal alien criminals who have been sent to a detention center in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. In a press release published on its website on Tuesday, the department named Eric Gresford Miller among 26 detainees sent to the facility, stating that they have committed heinous crimes. It described the detainees as dangerous illegal aliens who have been convicted. It said an immigration judge has ordered their removal from the U.S. Miller is listed as having been convicted of aggravated assault with a gun. No further details are provided about him or his case. It was noted that in January, U.S. President Donald Trump signed an execution order explaining the Migrant Operations Center at the Naval Station Guantanamo Bay to full capacity. The directive instructed Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to provide additional space for high-priority criminal aliens legally present in the United States. 3 men arrested after police seized scores of pipe bombs in St. Thomas. Police in St. Thomas have arrested 3 men after seizing more than 500 pipe bombs on Monday, the second largest cache of explosions confiscated in Bull Bay since April. The explosives are believed to be part of an arsenal being accumulated by warring factions in the 10 and 11 Mile communities. These men are reportedly bent on going at each other's throats, police said. Monday's seizure occurred around 10 a.m., while approximately 900 similar explosives were found in the same area in April. The items were believed to have been imported into the island and were reportedly discovered at a premises on the border of the two communities. The three men were later captured as they hid in nearby bushes. They were taken into custody. Caregiver charged after elderly woman's mummified body found in Westmoreland, says police. The Westmoreland police have launched an investigation after the mummified remains of an elderly woman were discovered at her home on Sunday. Her living caregiver is accused of hiding the body for more than a year without alerting authorities. The deceased has been identified as Viola Destin. Her age and the date of birth have not been confirmed. The police believe she died on December 10, 2023. However, rather than reporting the death, the woman's caregiver, 54-year-old Gina Robinson, is alleged to have hidden the body inside a room at their shared residence in Old Hope District, Little London. The gruesome discovery was made on Sunday after one of Destin's relatives reportedly became suspicious and contacted the police. Her decomposed body was found lying on a mattress in the home. The scene was processed and the body was removed to the morgue, where a post-mortem examination is pending. Robinson has since been charged with a failure to report the death of a person, preventing the lawful burial of a corpse, and attempting to pervert the course of justice. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.